So today we're going to discuss the preference of the technology generation. What the old generation likes may not be the same as what the new generation prefers in their life, work, and leisure. Much of the good things enjoyed by the elders when they are students are no longer available to the new generation. Before, the country's needs to strengthen its agricultural, business, or industrial economy. But as technology stages a chance along a global dimension, now lawmakers are challenged to adopt wisdom in calibrating the genuine needs of development. So let's proceed what the preference of the old generation and the new generation is. So first off, we have the single and multi-track activity pattern. For the old generation, they availed of slow and single-track pattern of activities. They prioritized the movies of their favorite local performers and social activities like community outing and dance clinics. But for the new generation, they are exposed to quickly flicking video games, texting, socializing through social websites, downloading things with adeptness and task-switching speed. So next up is the pure text versus the visual. So for the old generation, we have the pure text, which were they have to learn with words or they're just reading their textbooks. But for the visual, they actually need pictures. They learn easily with pictures than the actual words. So let's proceed to the next one. So linear media versus hypermedia. So for the old generation, they prefer the linear media, where they will learn in a sequence or chronological pattern, so from start to the end. But for the new generation, they prefer on switching their tasks or simply multitasking. So next one is the independent learner versus social learners. So for the old generation, we have the independent learners. It means that they learn individually or they study individually or on their own. They learn easily that way. But for the new generation, they need to interact, or what we call the social learners. They need to interact with each other in order to learn more efficiently and more effectively. So the next up is learning to do versus learning to pass the test. So in this case, the first one is the new generation, which is the learning to do. So they have the purpose on how they will be able to do the task that they were given to. But for the old generation, they just want to learn in order to pass the test or their quizzes. But for the new generation, they actually want to know how to do stuff instead of just passing the test. So in this one, delayed rewards and instant gratification. So before, for the old generation, they have the delayed rewards. For example, they have the diploma, the grades, and the medals. But for the new generation, we have now the instant gratification. For example, the score games that we play, awards, instant awards. So for the next one, we have the rote memory versus the fun learning. So in the old generation, they have the rote memory, where they only have to observe what their teacher is saying. So they just have to listen and listen and listen. But for the new generation, they actually do things. They learn more with fun learning, so they can manipulate the instructional materials of their teachers and come up with ideas on their own. In sum, teachers need to connect with digital learners and not think of them as entering their past 30 years old traditional world. While there are apparent setbacks or limitations to digital learning, there are opportunities to tap through. So, the first opportunity is learners' digital fluency with visual learning with the use of audiovisuals, media, and multimedia. So, the second, using hyperlink multimedia for projects that enhance work focus and reflection. And the last one is problem-solving activities to suit the generation's style and preference for fun and relevant learning. So, there are limitations to digital learning. So, as I said, these are the opportunities that we can tap through. So, that's all for today. Thank you very much for listening. And by the way, I am Maria Juvin Riva Libranda. I am a BS Ed 2 and TLE major. Thank you very much for listening.